Morning, everyone. How are you doing today? This is your daily financial news for Monday, November 16th. And wow, another good Monday. Might as well call the last two Mondays kind of vaccine Monday. First, before we get into the daily financial news, I want to do a couple of things. First, I want to wish you all a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on when you watch this video. Hope you had or will have a wonderful day. Second, if you are one of the tried and true who watch it in the morning and are a part of these daily financial news, I want to thank you. We are routinely now getting 8,000 views inside 24 hours, which has always been a goal of mine. A little bit over a year doing this every day with you, but we are there now, and I want to thank you for being a part of making these daily financial news segments fun, entertaining, and worthwhile. So thank you very much. A couple of quick things. I want to talk about some videos that went out yesterday. My weekend videos don't get as much attention sometimes, but I want to let you know I did a full deal breakdown yesterday. I went through an entire flip and not only just talked about, hey, we spent 40 grand. I broke down the flip into major components. So go ahead and take a look at that one if you want to see what I spend on a kitchen, on a bathroom, the floor, so on and so forth. And then second, we just went over 1,000 students. Again, about a year ago, maybe 14 months ago, I broke down and created a couple of courses, one free and one paid. And we're over 1,000 students now. So I reflected yesterday, created a presentation kind of summarizing what it's like to help 1,000 students and what I've learned personally. So take a look at that. And again, my puppy is not feeling great, so I was up early this morning and I created a presentation called Becoming a Multi-Millionaire. So that will be recorded sometime later today after we speak with Greg Dickerson at 8 a.m. So look forward to that. Okay, on to the news. First and foremost, we got to talk about Dow 30,000. I think there's every chance with the good news with the people looking forward that Dow 30,000 is a real possibility, a real record. Now it's a simple numeric number, but it is possible. It will be, interesting to note, and I think we may see it sometime this week. Again, we got news from Moderna. Last week was Pfizer. Moderna's vaccine has come out to be 94.5% effective. Efficacy, I believe, is what they call it. Again, good news. And oh, by the way, we still have 3 or 4 other vaccine producers in phase 3 trials that are using the same kind of technology, right? Basically, I believe it's creating some kind or leveraging a protein enzyme that basically helps the body fight or prevent the coronavirus. So again, we have a good chance to have even more vaccines out on the market. We still have creation, distribution, all of those things are out there, but we have gone from very dark days, endless night, to seeing a light last week with Pfizer, to the light getting brighter today with Moderna. That doesn't remove a tough winter. It doesn't remove a possible negative GDP in Q4. It doesn't remove pain from Congress's failure to do a skinny stimulus and focused stimulus deal. But, we could be on the significant mend next year. I stand by my calls that 2021 will be a good year, a growth year. We could see a GDP over 5% next year, which for the U.S., pretty staggering growth rate next year. So, I'm both encouraged by what I see coming, but also fearful for what I see in Q4. I guess fearful is not the right word. I want to use a different word, concern. I know there will be lots of people, lots of families that suffer, and they're going to suffer more than they should if Congress would get off their butt and do something focused on their citizens. So that's going to be a disappointment for sure. When you look at earnings, we've had some earnings come out. Casper Sleep, basically a mattress company, missed top and bottom line. It's interesting when you read, or I read their report, they blame supply chain. They didn't talk about demand. They didn't talk about competition, they talked about supply chain. So we are still having supply chain disruptions. I think it's pretty well understood the world is not as open as we would all like. So it's interesting to see companies talk about supply chain still being disruptive. I wonder if others will follow. You would think a mattress, frankly, isn't all that complex. So there's, I would guess, not as many touch points. But hey, if one gets disrupted, one gets disrupted. So it'll be interesting to see if we see auto manufacturers and other complex manufacturers talk about supply disruptions as earnings come out. Palo Alto Networks, I talked about that one over the weekend. It's kind of in the sweet spot. It's in the security space. It is a well-known brand. It kind of owns a segment, and work from home is real. So I expected them to blow it out. They did. They beat top, they beat bottom, and they raised. So shout out Palo Alto Networks. Simon Properties. I don't know if you know this, but Simon Properties had agreed to buy Taubman malls right as the pandemic was kicking off. They tried to get out of the deal. Lawsuits were filed both ways. The case was going to court today. They had originally agreed to $52.50 a share. They announced yesterday, came out this morning, that a new price has been agreed at $43 a share. So they got an 18% price cut on the deal, but Simon is going to close the deal with Taubman. No, the court's not going to go in and do the deal. It's an $800 million price cut for Simon Properties. And again, they're adding, I think it was 27 malls, or maybe it was 57, I forget. Lots of malls that Taubman owns. So again, deals are getting done. I think Simon does this deal because they saw Pfizer's news last week, and they probably had heads up on Moderna's news today. So they realized that malls, at least some, will be back to normal next year this time. So again, they're going to move forward with that transaction. And hey, they saved $800 million. Not a bad deal. Another thing happened today, again, showing you that businesses are spending money. Banks, PNC Financial. PNC Financial is buying BBVA USA from a Spanish bank. The Spanish bank needs cash. PNC Financial wants to round out coast-to-coast banking. They are doing a $11.6 billion deal, but here's the catch, the hook. It's an all-cash deal, no stock, all cash. So again, PNC Financial is feeling good. I stand by something I think I mentioned for the first time over the weekend, might have been Friday. I think what we're going to start to see from banks, and I think JP Morgan will be first, is they're going to lower their loan loss reserves. It is not going to be as bad as people feared. They are over-reserved, in my opinion. At least some banks. There may be one or two that are under-reserved, but I think overall, it is going to be interesting to see that some banks are over-reserved. This crash, this fear, right? Don't let fear win. I think I called it last week, hope over fear. Again, today's a day where hope wins. You do see Q4 pain. American Airlines is cutting flights to the UK for December. Frankly, that's good business. Why fly empty planes to London in this case, or Heathrow? That's just going to be something that would be good business for anyone, right? I think Q4 is going to be painful. I've said that a couple of times just in this video, and I've said it over the weeks. But Q4 will be over soon. We're almost, actually we are halfway through Q4. Today's November 16th. Let's call that halfway through Q4. That's pretty cool, right? Now we're 45 days away from New Year's. They can't get here soon enough. Don't know if you saw this, but I had to check this. I wasn't sure if this was fake news or not. But NASA, get this, NASA wants to put a nuclear power plant on the moon and on Mars. When I saw that, I actually read the article. I thought this was a James Bond movie. It sounds like a James Bond movie, right? But basically, they see that as the first step to setting up colonization, or, scientists, spending time up there. So I don't know about you. I think having nuclear power on the moon just sounds scary to me, but what do I know? Stimulus before the end of the year. The only hope is a skinny deal. The big deal, the 2.2 trillion wanted by Nancy, is not going to happen. There is a chance for 5 or 600 billion. It's got to be a skinny deal. I give that less than 1% chance. I actually think there's a better chance we do not get a stimulus deal again, like ever, than to get a big deal. I just think the Republican Senate has no appetite for a big deal. It'll be interesting to see what happens in Georgia. There is obviously that runoff that could create that tie in the Senate, but we'll see. I suspect the Republicans will at least get one, if not both of those, but we shall see. And then lastly, it looks like Home Depot is going to buy HD Supply, which is a company they actually split out. I think it was 7 years ago, 6 or 7 years ago. They're going to be buying it back for $56 a share, all cash. So again, that's what I got for you today. Oh, last one. I just saw this before I hit go. Procter & Gamble, right? Diapers, baby formula. They are actually forecasting a baby bust. I don't know about you and I, or about you, but when this all started, I was like, oh my God, there are going to be a lot of babies, right? Looks like births in China are down 8%. That's significant, 8% this year. And it looks like the US might be down 500,000 or 500,000, depending on how you want to slice that. So again, a baby bust, for Nestle, P&G, things of that nature. It looks like this stay-at-home order, people are practicing either abstinence or safe sex or getting lucky or whatever it is. But yeah, the baby boom that we thought would come, Procter & Gamble is saying it's not there. So again, I want to thank you for being a part of these daily shows. If you like your daily financial news, quick, clean, live, hit subscribe, give me a thumbs up, leave comments. Let's get this group interactive. And again, what you can look for today is I'll be interviewing our expert Greg Dickerson today. And I have a PowerPoint created on how to become a multi-millionaire. It's easier than you think. All right, everybody, have a wonderful day. Take care.